Right. Good morning, everyone, to our session of today, 26th of October, where we're looking at how do we basically come up with some solutions to avoid the post-harvest losses. As we know, for you that for many of us and you that are in agri, the losses are always one of our challenges when we don't know how to transform, to preserve, or to conserve the food. So the value added services or activities are very important to actually minimize the losses that we encounter during the post-harvest phase. Yeah, so that's what we will be discussing today. We hope our speaker, Mrs. Victorine Iris, will be joining us a bit later, but I'm sure just within the room, there could already be skills, that can be shared. Those who have been attending these meetings, there's a lot of information that we actually share here. So before we get to engage, I would just recommend everyone, please, let's continue to use the chat to engage, to introduce ourselves and share what we do. And before we get to the main topic, I would just like to share a little bit about RWA and the services that we offer. We have in a house Mr. Simon, who is our admin person that will assist us with anything that we might need, such as the link or anything. Please continue to chat in the group and continue to introduce yourselves. And also get ready to introduce yourself live. You'll be given a few seconds, minutes to introduce the product that you do, what you're doing, so we can get to know each other. There are already a number of partnerships that we are trying to build within LWA, and there will be more in the future. So please do not hesitate to introduce yourself and the services that you do offer. Right, I will be just sharing a little bit about LWA and what we do, the services that we do offer. Uh, Great, there we go. So first of all, just 1 second. Um, we the Saturday, the APG B2B webinars that we offer every Saturday is actually our build-up programs that lead us to our main event that is due to happen on from 20 to 23rd of November in Cape Town. So beside the face-to-face, the virtual that we're doing now, we also have an annual face-to-face where our partners from around the continent gather together around one room and where we share economic opportunities. Our event business focus, where we really try to explore what other partners, what other countries are offering, with the aim to forge partnerships, with the aim to really forge collaboration within Africa. As we know, our aim as RWA is really to promote the interregional integration. As African entrepreneurs, we need to have in mind that, outside the borders of our countries are, potential consumers, potential partners that we can actually network with. We need to remember that Africa has 1.4 million people, and these are consumers, that whatever services, products we are offering in our countries, we can actually offer them on the continent. So once a year, we come together as all the members, partners, and stakeholders of RWA to exchange the economic opportunities that our continent has to offer. This year, there will be an award that will happen on the 23rd of November. So if you did not yet register for the conference, or if you intend to travel to South Africa during that time, please, we would recommend you to register, and Mr. Simon will share the link in the group. Who is Leading Women of Africa? We are a pioneering women-led social enterprise. That's how we classify ourselves. That's how we define ourselves. We are a social enterprise. We offer end-to-end consulting services amongst the services that we offer, though we position ourselves as a development engine for the continent. We have a number of development programs for entrepreneurship and for women. We stand on two pillars as Leading Women of Africa. We stand on entrepreneurship pillar and we stand on the leadership pillars. We believe that those two pillars that will contribute in the process of socioeconomic development of our continent. We need to play really a massive role. We need to have an impact in the process of the development of our continent. We are talking about the AU Agenda 2063, which we know it can only happen when all Africans are actually behind the AU and play a role. Also, we have the African Free Trade Area. That is something as well that as us as an entrepreneurs, we need to capitalize on so that we can actually, break the barriers. Africa has so much to offer and there's so many entrepreneurs. Let's break the barriers and let's capitalize on the African Free Trade Area so that we can actually grow our entrepreneurship ventures and create jobs and contribute in the GDPs of our nations. Some of the services that we offer include sourcing and procurement. So if you are looking for any product, any commodities on the continent, we do that. So we are building partnerships, and quite many in the rooms, we are in partnership with them so that we can see, we always try to identify what is being produced in different countries so we can source the market for it. In terms of the market, we're really building a global market in the US, in Europe, in the Middle East, China and India. So we are constantly looking for product, but not only outside Africa. We are building the market right here in Africa, in South Africa. So there are products that that they are in constant demand in South Africa and many other African countries. So we try to basically close the gaps between the supply and the demand on the continent. For any big company that is looking for market entry in Africa, as we know, many economies are looking to enter the African market. We have the expansion strategies that we can share with them. And some companies or international institutions may need research or survey. We do have a team of experts that we work with. We facilitate access to finance. That is very, very important. We know that one of the challenges that us as African entrepreneurs that we are facing with is beside the market is access to finance. So we have a few models that we'll share with you on how we are facilitating access to finance. So if you are looking for finance, we should be your one-stop shop. Before you explore anyone else, we are women-led, we are credible. So if you are looking for any finance, please, we will be able to facilitate because we build a network of funding opportunities, grant opportunities. That actually one of the main services that we do offer to entrepreneurs. We also have a branch focusing on corporate training. So if you work for a corporate and you're looking for a credible corporate training institutions, LWA Corporate Institute should be your first point of contact. Right, and we have number of leadership, as I alluded to, leadership and entrepreneurship development programs. Our model is that we build partnerships. We build partnerships of diverse teams of expert professionals, other companies, other entrepreneurs from around the continent. We build partnerships of them, and that's basically how we, we try to have footprint around the continent. Just a little bit more about our funding services. Like we say, it's really tailor-made to entrepreneurs. So if you're looking for funding, let me just tell you part of the services that we do offer. We do offer advisory services. So it means that we can sit with you, we can look at the strategy with your company, and also how we can basically advise you on all areas of your business sustainability. And if you need a business plan or a pitch deck, we will be able to offer that. Fundraising applications, as we know, there are a number of calls for applications that are always needed. And as entrepreneurs, we've just come to realize entrepreneurs don't necessarily have all the time, and sometimes just gathering all the resources, all the information that application needed can be of a challenge. So we really try to support entrepreneurs. We can submit the application on your behalf. We do another service that we offer that we know that even funders need is, for instance, websites, social media presence. As entrepreneurs, we need to have a digital presence. So we do offer technology and digital solutions to entrepreneurs. Coaching and mentorship is also another service that we do offer. Grant formula is just one of the services that we offer on the funding side, where we say that you can use this service. We can submit for you at least 20 applications within a period of 6 months, because those call for applications, they come and go, and sometimes we don't have time to actually meet the deadlines. What we do, we scout out for you all the funding application that you are matching with, and we will be submitting on your behalf once we understand, once we have your business plan, your pitch deck, and your business profile. Don't have to worry, we'll be able to submit for you within 6 months. You will have at least 20 applications that will go out. Obviously, we cannot guarantee the success because we're not funders. We just offer you that opportunities to put your application in front of the potential funder. And that is one of the services that we offer. We offer the same for Global Accelerate, which is more focusing on, innovative program, like your digital program, your startups on the digital fields. There is also a lot of call for proposals there that we support entrepreneurs with. We also have a marketplace, Trade and Fancy, that you can visit, and you'll be able to list your product. It is a marketplace, but you will also be able to submit your funding need there. This is what I was talking about, our leadership institute, where we have programs really that suit all different sectors within the continent, whether it is banking. We do board and leadership courses, human resources, legal courses, marketing, and women in leadership courses. Right, and I was telling you about our digital solutions, where we offer website development, workspace managed services, enterprise network, ICT resources, applications, solutions, digital marketing, and lead generation. This is one of the new services that we add. Really, as entrepreneurs, we try to be a one-stop shop for the entrepreneurship solutions. Right. So this is what we'll be looking at today. I will check if our speaker is already here. Reverend Victorine Iris. Otherwise, we will start with the introduction of everyone and we will see how the morning will go. Continue to put your details on the chat. Continue to put your details on the chat and yes, just so we can get to know one another as we go along. All right, so let's get started with the introduction of everyone with the hope that our speaker of today, I'm not specialist on this, on the food transformation, but we will all be sharing some information as we share. Shall we start? Get ready to introduce who you are. It will take a minute or two, introduce what you do, and let's get to know one another. Right, so shall we start? On my left, Nina. Can we start with you? What do you do? Right, if Nina is not able to speak right now, we're gonna move to Simi from Eritrea. Simi, are you able to speak? Great, we're gonna move. Sim is not yet to speak. Ladies, gentlemen, if whenever you are ready to speak, Simi and Nina, let us know and we'll give you the space. We will move to Mrs. Adenike.
Good morning, Ma. Good morning, all. My name is Adeya Adedeji. I am a Nigerian representing Dado Services Limited. We are a women-owned organization. We are entrepreneur in agricultural produce. We are farmer and exporter dealing with grains and legume. We do B2B services. We sell in wholesales. We aggregate and we do supplies of mostly agricultural produce. Thank you.
Great. Maybe a question there, Mrs. Ade, being in the agricultural produce. How do you transform, preserve? We know that many of the products are perishable and so on. We are really trying to educate ourselves. Sometimes we don't have all the machineries, but then we have the likes of tomato, chilies, and all that. It's rotting and we don't know how to preserve. How do you do from your side?
Yes, mostly there are some crops that we deal with that at least you still last some months without not perishable. Why? Once we harvest, we dry. Most produce, if you dry it, it lasts longer. The shelf life extends once you dry. And we dry with appropriate, not just exposing to sun anyhow. It has the degree percentage you have to, or method you have to dry them, or you use drying machine, that's a dry data. Then we sort. After sorting, we pack. We have a special bag for agricultural produce. Those are the bags, those are the things that will keep the nutrients and the quality of the produce. Then when we baggage finish, we are in a warehouse. For people who cannot afford to have a warehouse, they can rent. There are some people who do rent spaces for you to store your products in Nigeria. I don't know of other places. So when you store, that's one of the preservation for you after packaging. So why you will be looking for the market? Because during the other season, produce are a little bit cheap. So for people who want to export, and that is the time we aggregate within our farmers like ourselves, then we package and store. So after the season, if you don't use the advantages of the season time, after season, you may find it difficult to have produce when you need more. So that's the way we do for it.
Right. Thank you so much. Right.
You are
Thank you for that intelligence. Right. So let's move to Agia.
Good morning, Madam President. Good morning, everyone. Uh, Fellow development partners. We are redefining Africa's SME conversation. And let me give a time back to Madam President and the entire team. I'm a Jacobra, a licensed herbal practitioner, commodities broker, and organic and sustainable agriculture advocate. Currently, I'm more into the medicine. I went off in the commodity okay, I am back on track and revitalizing and rejuvenating all the agribusiness projects. And my interest for now lies in developing value chains for cocoa, cashew, oil palm, and medicinal herbs, all on sustainable and regenerative agriculture models. I have seen, taking Ghana as a typical example, uh, the excessive use of inorganic and synthetic fertilizers and agrochemicals has affected land fertility, food quality, and such. So going forward, I am thinking our partnership with LWA will change this story to turn Africa's agricultural production into sustainable and regenerative agriculture model, which increases yield, profitability, and food quality. So thank you very much. Today, I'm so happy about the topic for today, food preservation. It is a mess in Ghana when it gets to the bumper season, especially this tomato issue. Farmers get losses, heavy losses, because one, the tomatoes comes in abundance and nobody cares what to do with it. And farmers may not have no choice than to sell their tomatoes, their other produce at very, very, very cheap, cheap prices. So it's good topic. I'm keen about the topic today, and I'll be available to come back again. Thank you very much, madam.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Agia, for that. And by the way, we had a very good discussion last Saturday, and Agia has already submitted his the model, the program that he wants us to do for Ghana on cocoa. which is really, really exciting. So we'll further the communication there. So yeah, so I think really, really exciting. We're excited about the program that you are putting together and inviting LWA to partner with you in Ghana. Great. Our speaker is trying to log in. She's experiencing technical issue with her sound, but let's hope she will be there. Non-caller, your turn, ma'am. Let's hear from you from Eastern Cape.
Good day, everybody. Good day, Chairperson. Thank you so much for this opportunity. My name is Nopolo. I'm representing our company, which is a training company, Siba Jolili Academy. What we do is we do trainings all over the globe. We train on leadership, financial wellness, entrepreneurship, customer services. We do coaching and mentoring as well. I am a registered facilitator, assessor, and moderator. I have freelancers in South Africa in all the provinces. I was awarded in 2019 an award from Kote, what is it? Kote Abu Dhabi, for being the woman who is promising, because my theme is that all is possible with the right people. So that was a Women Entrepreneurship Award, awarding women who are promising in the space. I did advocated for financial women inclusion in Rwanda in 2019, because I believe that women deserve to be included in the financial space. I did this training and I'm passionate about financials and leadership, because I think, or I have observed, that us as women, you know, we tend to take the back seat when it comes to finance, when it comes to IT, when it comes to financial inclusion. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you so much, Nola. Yeah, that's really great. So it would be good to also just connect with you after you are a trainer, a facilitator, moderator, and I think yeah, you will be definitely, there are synergies for us to explore soon. Right, let's continue our introduction. Mrs. Mel Zulu, you are next, ma'am. If you can speak.
Hello, good morning. Happy to be here. Last week I missed. I took my husband for physio. He had a stroke. Yeah. I'm Miles Zulu. I'm from Zambia. Our organization is Save Environment and People Agency. So we are an agent of change. We really, for us, it's man and a woman, boy and a girl, to make their lives better, because we discovered that when one group is left out, it causes, you know, GBV and death. So that's what we do. So we train people in a lot of things. We train them in beekeeping, both men and women. We train them into growing fruit trees for nutrition and for business. We train them into agriculture, like climate smart, agroecology, and so many things. We are also into forest products, because what we discovered is that forest can alleviate poverty. It's only that we Africans, we don't appreciate what we have, or we don't value what we have. We prefer to go and we prefer to go and buy something that is foreign than ours. Otherwise, we are promoting forest products because of its medicinal, it's healthy, and all that. So we have wild vegetables in Africa, like Zambia. I think we have a lot. We have wild fruits. We have also so many things that we can have, which can make, Africa, eradicate poverty. I remember one time we had an African show. I wish we can redo it. We had an African show in Tanzania where we said all countries who come to this show should never exhibit things outside Africa. And then we wanted to know whether Africa was hungry, because we are told to be a dark continent. We are told to be a hungry continent. It was amazing to see the kind of food that we have, the kind of way people prepare the food. All sorts of food were there, and no one was allowed to sell there. We were just sampling the food from each country. And that time we had about 16 countries that competed in that. So I wish AGP can do that, and we come and exhibit, and you know how rich Africa is. Despite that, I'll talk a bit of how we preserve food in Zambia. Like what my colleague said, there is time like this rain season, we are going to have abundance of food. We're going to have abundance of vegetables such as pumpkin leaves, beans leaves, cowpeas leaves, and so many. So what we do is we preserve them traditionally since time immemorial. People from Eastern Province, they are well known of doing that. So we'll get the pumpkin leaves, we'll wash them properly. We'll just put them in a pot a bit for just 5 minutes with a bit of salt, and then we'll dry them under the tree. We'll get tomato, and we'll add tomato to that preparation. Then we dry together in the tree, in the shade, so that it doesn't lose its nutrients. We also dry sweet potatoes. We dry sugar canes. We dry them as well. We dry pumpkins. We dry fresh groundnuts. While they are still in their shell, we will boil them and dry them in preparation to come and eat when food is scarce, like from September, October, November, December, as we are preparing for us to cultivate the land. So if you do that, you never go hungry. You never have a shortage of food. So it's everything we preserve like that. So right now we are about to have our rain season, and already in my area here, mangoes have already started, they are ripe, and this district where I am, mango can stink because we have even forest for mango. So others, the way they preserve it, they will cut them and peel them, they will put in the fridge, but others, they dry them. So drying mangoes, you need a solar or electricity machine, but electricity machine right now, Zambia is facing a lot of road shedding. So a solar one is okay. And University of Zambia makes those machines, but they are a bit expensive. You need to find someone who can help you to buy that machines. Then you can be drying mangoes. And those mangoes are very expensive. They are nice. They are sweet. So you dry them as well. And when you do that, you not run away of food or the food wastage. So we also train in this topic. As we start with, we even make shelters. women cooperatives that we have empowered in agroecology, and we have put the tanks with solar panels. We prepare them for after harvest. There are certain fruits which maybe they need to sell fresh. So even in the rural area rural areas where we are, countrysides, it's a better way to use for us. So we train them. They can search their room. You build a storage with mesh wire. Then you can look for where they were doing charcoal, pick those small things of charcoal, then pack them around that house with a mesh wire. Then they'll keep the temperature of that room quite okay or cool. And then your vegetables will go for a long time without being destroyed. Then you can sell them as fresh as they are. So we do a lot with that. I also belong to CADESA. CADESA is Center for Agriculture Coordination in Africa, where we have also produced a book on how farmers can, learn on how to cultivate on a small land, but have a huge produce. Because, of course, climate smart agriculture has got 3 pillars. This is productivity, and, and it's productivity, and then you produce on a small portion of land, and then huge harvest. So that's what we are trying to do. And the way we are doing shift cultivation, if you cultivate this year, after harvesting, you never go back to that land. So we train people on how to use the same land and how to retain the nutrients, even agroforest, all that we train them. Today, CEO, I want to introduce one of my daughters whom I said they've joined me after graduating from the university to make sure that our vision does not die. Here is Maggie. Maggie, say hi.
Good morning, everyone. I'm happy to be here. It's such an honor. Just hearing from the conversations and introduction that some of our colleagues were doing, it really inspired me. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to join you.
Position.
So my name is Maggie Muke. I work for Save Environment and People Agency as a program officer. Thank you.
Wow, welcome, Maggie. Such an honor to also meet you. By the way, ladies and gentlemen in the room, if you plan to be in Cape Town in November, Mrs. Zulu will be there. So yes, and let's continue to network in a chat, exchange information. Mrs. Zulu, we need to really make a plan for when you will be here to potentially run a workshop around around the book that you have produced, but around the solutions that you have for Zambia. I'm sure we are being inspired. Everyone in the room is being inspired by what is being shared so far. And we would like to experience that face to face when you come. Thank you so, so much.
Thank you.
Great. So we continue with Helen Asami. Are you able to speak? Great. While Helen maybe is trying to unmute herself, we can move to Mary Msungu. Right. So Helen and Mary, whenever there's Mary, she's unmuted herself.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm very happy to be here. I'm very new in this. I'm starting from scratch. So I'm getting those information. I'm really enjoying to be mentored. I'm happy to be here. Thank you very much.
Great. What is important? Thank you so much, Mary, and I'm sure you are learning, and there will be so much information that will be shared today. Right. So far for everyone that have used has their solutions and technology, please, while we're still in this meeting, can you prepare some samples that you can share on the screen? Mrs. Adenike, if you have anything that you have done, how you dry and package, let's see how it looks like. Mrs. Zulu, if you have some samples of what we do, sugarcane, I've actually never heard of drying sugarcane, so it will be very interesting to see how they look like. Great. So let's continue. Mrs. Margaret Oili. Right. Okay. So we're gonna move to Mr. Seth.
Good
Mr. Seth.
morning, ladies. It looks like I'm the only thorn among the roses here.
No. You can say that again. There's many men here.
Okay. Okay, my name is Seth Khalituki. I'm based in South Africa. We in the agricultural space, our head office is in Joburg, but we work in multiple provinces across the whole SA. Focus mainly on community development. I've got projects in Eastern Cape, Limpopo, Mpumalanga, and Gauteng. We've been at it for the last 8 years, 7 years now. So we assist farmers with the tools from the back end of running the offices to primary production, assisting them with borehole installations and also access to markets. What captured me about this invitation, it's my first time here, by the way, for everyone. So was the agro-processing part of it. So we don't do much agro-processing for them. So it was nice to see the invitation about cutting down on post-harvest losses. Because if you don't, the saying in the farming space that either you sell it or you smell it. So to cut down on them losing their produce after harvest. So yeah, I look forward to learning from everyone. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. Whether you say either you sell it or you smell it, I love that. I'm sure many farmers then will identify themselves of theirs. And so, yeah, we look forward if you will be in Cape Town around the APG. We look forward to having you at APG, but also where we will try to exchange all these information lives and see some, samples, because some delegates that will come will bring samples and so on, but also share on how they do that. So it will be quite something. If you plan to be here, please let's meet together. Right, we are pleased to have Mrs. Victorine here. I will introduce her in a second. We have Mrs. Kaya Amina from Chad. I know she speaks French, but she's always excited to be amongst us. She does understand English. However, she speaks in French when she speaks, and it would be great if she can speak, we can hear, and I will try to translate. Mrs. Kaya, pouvez parler? Non, vous êtes... enlevez le micro, fais le micro.
Ça va, c'est bon. Bonjour à tous, bonjour mesdames et messieurs. Je suis Madame Amina Kaya du Tchad. Je suis vraiment intéressée par la thématique des échanges de ce matin, parce que nous sommes dans la transformation des produits locaux au niveau de notre organisation. Donc, le Tchad est un pays qui a beaucoup de potentialité en culture et nous avons au nord, au sud du Tchad, parce que nous, on intervient beaucoup plus au sud. Au sud du Tchad, il y a beaucoup d'arbres fruitiers et des groupements avec lesquels nous travaillons, nos partenaires, font dans la transformation des produits, des fruits, beaucoup plus des fruits euh, locaux, des fruits de chez nous. Et donc, nous, on appuie ces groupements euh, dans l'écoulement de ces produits qui sont beaucoup plus transformés localement et nous avons un peu de difficulté dans les emballages. Comment emballer ces fruits? Sinon, nous avons beaucoup de fruits, beaucoup de culture là-bas et transformer ces produits, nous les faisons traditionnellement et effectivement, on les appuie dans l'hygiène, comment transformer, comment, comment emballer. Mais nous avons des difficultés des emballages. Nous avons toujours eu à chercher des investisseurs pour nous, nous aider à trouver les beaux emballages, les emballages adéquats qui sont conformes à, à mettre nos produits et les écouler. Donc, c'est très intéressant de savoir que la thématique de ce matin euh, est orientée sur la transformation de la tomate, si je vois bien, euh, dans certaines régions. Et donc, nous avons le grand plaisir de, 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 de avec, avec l'organisation qui peut nous orienter, surtout dans les emballages, surtout les emballages. Sinon, nous arrivons à, à, à contrôler même ces produits qu'on transforme, parce qu'il y a le Sicopda au Tchad. Nous avons aussi Oxfam, Intermonde, qui nous appuie dans la transformation de ces produits. Mais on n'est pas encore arrivé à la phase de trouver les emballages pour mettre ces produits et les écouler. Merci.
Wow, merci, Madame Kaya. Well, so let me tell you, Leading Women of Africa is what it says. We cover French, Portuguese, English for now. Okay, I'm sure other languages will come, but the main languages spoken in Africa. So whenever you are in LWA conference, we always make sure that those speaking French, Portuguese are not excluded because we are leading women of Africa. So Mrs. Kaya was introducing herself. She is from Chad. She is so happy about the theme today, about transformation of food, because she is in agro-processing. She says that really she's happy with so far what has been discussed and the information that has been provided. And she says that in Chad they produce so much, but they also have a lot of fruits that sometimes they get rotten and so on. And they are really training women how to transform, how to preserve, to dry fruit. So it's really one of the programs that they do have. They work with Oxfam, who is also based there. However, one of the main challenges that Chad or the product is facing is packaging. So with not so good quality packaging, they have a problem, for instance, for export and, to actually preserve the product for long. So packaging is one of the challenges that I do have. Wherever there are challenges, we are entrepreneurs. It means that is an opportunity for someone. in the room. So if you would like to connect with Mrs. Kaya, please, Mrs. Kaya, put your details on a chat. People will connect with you. And maybe if you have a solution, maybe a local solution that you are using that you can give the expertise or the skill to Mrs. Kaya, please feel free to share with her how she can do to improve her packaging. But we know that the packaging is actually really I would say a more continental issue, because everywhere you go, we meet these challenges. So yeah, it's again create an opportunity maybe for LWA to try and bring some partners in packaging that could partner with us in different countries. It's something that we can work on, and we can see whether by APG we could bring partners on board. Right. So I think right now I would like to introduce our speaker. I know all of us, we are the speakers, so there's no, you know, everyone in this room is a speaker. But today, with regard to transforming food into powder and so on, we have Reverend Victorine already in the room. Reverend, do you want to say something? Reverend is the president of African International Women in Trade and based in Nigeria, but she's also the key partner for LWA in West Africa. So with her, we are already doing quite a lot of things, trade and products. So she's one of our key partners in West Africa for various products. So many of us, if you are based in West Africa, you will get to know Reverend Victorine because we all work together. We all gonna work together. So Reverend Victorine, do you want to introduce yourself while I just upload the PowerPoint? You can unmute and introduce yourself.
Okay. I don't know. Am I live?
Yes, you
Can you?
are. Yes, you
Yes.
are.
Good morning, ma.
Good
This
morning. Good morning.
early because I wake up 4 a.m. I sleep off and I slept off a bit. I'm really glad to be here, and my regards to all, and I'm greeting everyone in the house. All protocols observed. And I'm really glad to hear about food preservation, especially in Africa, because I'm very passionate about everything Africa and whatever will make Africa better and to put us out there in a better light. And food preservation is part of it, especially when food is not in season and also for exports. Because when we have more than enough after drying and preserving, processing, the next thing is to export and to generate more money for ourselves as women. And like I was discussing with the president here, I showed her a lot we have done. I don't really have some of the packages here, but I think I sent some. And okay, let me just go first into food preservation. Like now we know a lot of foods are in season. And one of the best ways to preserve this and for us to have enough food when it's not in season is by preservation. And the preservation we are using now is drying, either with sun dry or with dehydrators. And I heard someone talked about, I think something dehydrators. We have enough of dehydrators in Nigeria for anyone that might want to get them, because if you are having steady light or where you don't have steady light and there is sun, you can use it to sun dry most of those food products when they are in season. Okay, like what is on the screen now is our tomatoes powder, which we have taught some of our women how to preserve them. I think this is the season of tomatoes. We sun dry or we use dehydrators to produce them to powder. So when it's time to cook, you just pour in a little, you mix with water, and we have different type of tomato powder. Some you can powder, you can sun dry with pepper and seasonings. Although we also have dry seasonings like ginger powder, garlic powder, onion powder, tiger nut. I still have, I think, one tiger nut left. It's here. You can see this is a pack of tiger nut. I've had it since, I don't know if we can see it. Are we seeing it? I've had this tiger nut since last year, the pack of tiger nuts. You can just open up, use it in tea or whatever, or a cereal. So food preservation through drying into powder is very, very important, especially in Africa, especially now, like in Nigeria, where we are having food security issues, you know. So we've done quite a lot. And in the area of packaging, our sister from Chad mentioned, we have a lot of lovely packages in Nigeria. If they will want to connect with us, we can always supply them with good packaging, both the cartons, nylon, foils, and so on. So I don't know if there's any other question as in food drying and dehydration. Then there's also drying and powdering of fish, dry fish. We do that also with powder, with dry fish, catfish. You dry it and grind it to powder. Okay, this is on the screen, we can see, this is our sweet potato flour. Like someone mentioned about sweet potato, we also have sweet potato flour. We dry them. We don't just dry them directly. It goes through a process of a little fermentation. Then after then we sun dry or we use dehydrator to dry them, and we turn them to powder and they stay for long, you know, and to increase, it also helps to increase the shelf life with a little preservation or none. We don't use preservation for this. We just leave them pure the way it is, organic. Okay, we also have a beans flour. We also have Irish potato flour, yes. We've done Irish potato flour. You can turn them to a cereal, can use them as cereal or for fufu. I don't know, we have different cultures. This is a beans flour. Then instead of preserving beans, you keep beans for long and you start attracting weevils and growing more. You just wash them, you dry them, sun dry or dehydrator, or even solar. You can also use solar, you can use oven. But for beans, it's not it's not every product we use oven to dry. You know, we can use oven to prepare okay, let me finish with the beans. You can use sun dry or dehydrator for beans. But for oven, we use oven to sun dry vegetables. We dry vegetables and preserve them, like leeks and so on, and carrot. Then we also preserve, process our own organic seasonings. Organic seasonings is very, very important, because I am a strong advocate against using processed seasoning, because all those preservatives and so on, they are not healthy for our body, especially men above 40, they are not healthy for our body. So we train people to process their own organic seasoning also through drying, either sun dry or oven drying. You know, you will mix different type of vegetable, carrot, leeks, a lot. Then we dry and blend them with either fish. If you want to have a fish seasoning, beef seasoning for chicken, for beef, for fish. We also do that. We process them into powder, then you can keep them for use. I don't know, ma'am, if there's any other question. It's all about food preservation. Then someone said something about fruit, drying fruits. Drying fruit is very, very important, especially for people above 50. If we can really look into that. I had someone talked about drying fruits, mango, yes, because I buy some, they are imported, dry mango and a carrot mixed together and so on. So we can also look into that when we have them in season. We dry mango and so on, and it's good for export into, even if it's intra-African trade, then we have them in different countries. So we can network with good packaging. If they are producing elsewhere, we know how to blend, collaborate and do it with each other. I don't know, like the beans I talked about. I don't know the type of beans species they have in different African countries, but we can, get from other countries. We sun dry, or we teach how to dry in different countries. It mustn't be in a particular country. So we network and teach each other how to do that.
Great. Thank you so much, Reverend Victorine. And yeah, please, ladies, gentlemen, let's engage. Reverend spoke about networking. How do they promoting intra-African trade? This is what we are here for. We are trying to see where are the gaps, where the, where can we find what? Where is the supply? Where is the demand? Before even we can think of exporting outside Africa, there are needs here, for some region. This is tourism season, they need this, the fruit, the sun-dried fruits is always, in demand anyway. Let's try to network, let's try to see how we can promote intra-African trade. Yes, I see your hand, Mary. Do you have a question? Go ahead, Mary. You are muted if you are speaking. Right, Mrs. Adenike, you can go ahead, unmute yourself.
Thank you. Once again, good morning, all. I will, because I was so much anxious to learn more, because nobody is perfect. When I saw it on the mail that we should register for learning more about tomato processing, so I think I will have add more knowledge to the one I had already. So I was expecting the trainer to show us about specifically on tomatoes. I think we should have seen some slide on how she does that. Maybe the dry or the dry data, and then how they mashed it or blend it to powder, something like that. Those are the things I'm expecting to see. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that remark. We are mindful that Saturday is also a short time for training. However, I think the idea this morning was to share ideas that there is a way to produce, to actually preserve and transform. And so we can then make plan for those interested. We can go through the training process so that we can actually go through it. I'm sure we can organize a training with Reverend Victorine if need be. because like we know, there are so many technologies, there are so many solutions. We will first like to see, is there an interest for us to organize then time to go through and explain how can one practically process the dry good. I think the idea for now, obviously we do not stop just exchange ideas and to know that it is doable. But we would like to now get to the point where, okay, initially, first session, we saw that we can do this. Now the next session, or we can take a specific time, one evening or so, depending on availability of those interested to learn, and the trainer, come, let now be practical. So that is the plan. Now we can see that there are interest. So if you are interested, you can maybe just note in the on the chat so that we can then note that and make appointment with Mrs. Victorine as to what day, what time will be convenient and how long it will take, so that everybody can commit their times to attend now the practical training. Thank you so much for that. Yes, and next hand, Nina.
Yes, hello everybody. Hello.
Yes,
Good
we can
morning.
hear you,
Hello.
Nina.
Okay. It's very interesting. I just want to know this kind of I don't know if she already tried also to do this kind of process for papers. It can be possible or not.
Can you just repeat your question again?
Yes, my question is, I know that she transformed tomatoes, ginger in powder. So I want to know if she can also, or she also try to do it for papers. Paper, the green, red, and yellow papers. It's possible, because I'm very interested about this.
It's possible.
Okay, it's possible. Okay.
Thank you. If you can dry vegetables, then everything is possible. Dry leaves.
Okay.
Yes, it's possible. Very possible.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I think the next step really will be now to organize time for, for the training itself. I think for now, let's share, what are the possibilities, and we can see how we can organize time for the actual training. Right. Mary, are you still going to speak? If you can, please go ahead.
Hello. That was very interesting. My question was about that process to dry the carrots. I would like to know more about drying carrots. Thank you.
Yes,
Right.
Okay. Can I go ahead, Ma?
Yes, yeah, go ahead, Reverend.
Like I said, carrot is even one of the easiest to dry. We even have carrot powder, especially if you are using them for organic products, organic skincare products. That is another interesting training. I have almost every type of soap I've used organic product like carrot soap, you dry papaya, you dry bitter leaf soap. Bitter leaf soap is very, very effective for skin blemishes, eczemas, ringworms, and so on. So I also produce bitter leaf soap, and you can dry bitter leaf. I'm sure we all know bitter leaf, very effective. I also dry bitter leaf for diabetics. where you can just dry, you keep the powder. You know, the Western world, they import a bitter leaf from Africa now. They transform them to capsules. But I transform my own bitter leaf to powder. So if you are diabetic, you can just take a little of it, sprinkle it on your cereal or whatever. It helps, and it does a lot in the body. It's also an antibiotic. So if you can dry that, then we also dry bitter leaf to use them for our organic soaps. So it's like everything we have in Africa is very, very useful. If I want to produce organic soap and I want to start from the scratch, we use our palm tree, we burn them to get the ash, what we need for the soap, that's the liquid. And we use our oil, we use our palm kernel oil also. From there, we can make any type of soap. So carrot, you can dry it, turn it to powder, and use it for a lot. Or you turn it to carrot, dry carrot you can eat when it's not in season. We also have coconut powder. We have coconut powder, the way we have coconut flakes, we have coconut powder. And you can use it for a lot also. So it's all doable. You can dry any food product when it's in season and preserve it and use it for a lot.
Great. Any more comments? Yes, Mrs. Adenike, I see you unmuted yourself.
Thank you, ma'am. I just want to give one or two advice to the woman that wants to know how to dry carrots so that she can at least practice this and let's get the results. After washing your carrots, you may scrape the body. Some of the people scrape the body. Then you cut your carrots into pieces. Look for a very good environment if you don't have a radiator. Then you spread it. Don't spread it into the sun too much. When you spread it, you turn it for few, continue washing. After the moisture is off, then you can take it inside. It may take you 2 days, depending on the weather. Then you spread it overnight. You let air be drying it off for you. By yourself, when you start touching it, you will know if it is dry enough or not to your taste for what you want. Then after then, you blend it. If you have a drydator, it's the best for you too. You time your drydator, you put it there. When it's dry, it's okay for you. You know what the result you want from it. Then you put it in the machine and blend for yourself. So, and turn it to powder. That is for carrots. And some other things too you can put the practice. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Adenike. I saw another hand from Mrs. Zulu.
So it's not, it's me who wanted to ask about how to dry some of the things, but I think it has been discussed. But I just also wanted to say that this is very important, especially now that we are going into rain season. I think because most of the times our food in Africa is actually seasoned. So I think this has come at the right time where we can actually maybe have a webinar or something so that people can actually dry more food, because right now for Zambia we are getting into the rain season, so we have variety of food, and I think this is very important if we would want to also do these things. Yes.
Great. No, definitely we will need to have more practical a practical session where we physically show or practically show how a few products, how we can do them. Any other comment? Any other comment? I hope everybody has put their details on the chat so that we can continue to network even outside of this meeting room. So please go ahead, if you haven't done so, put your name and details on the chat, the country where you're from, and we will continue to engage on the agripreneur, because this is a topic, as we know, most of or a lot of Africans are involved in agriculture and agro-processing or agribusiness. So let's continue to explore. I think next time we will look at as well, what are the technologies that are being used to even transform? Because everyone in different countries, they're coming up with their own solutions. Let's come up with or share information about the solutions that you're using. What machine are you using to dry and to make it powder, Reverend Victorine? I think that will help. And everyone else that is already doing processing, next time let's share what are you doing practically. How are you doing it? Are you using just the sun? If it is the sun, what are you using? Are you using a specific container or a specific instrument? If there are machines that you are using, are they produced locally, or are you importing them? Because there are some African solutions that we do have. Let's share them. Let's share them, because they could be as efficient as imported solutions. So let's try to discuss solutions next time we have an idea that we can transform many agricultural products, because like we've learned here or we've heard here, there are most of the food that we eat are seasonal. But how do we ensure that, beyond the season for that particular product, we can still consume those products, that we're not going to run out of the product? Yes, we know when it comes to winter, for instance, for us in South Africa, most of the produce disappeared and they become so expensive on the market. However, if we all can learn how to preserve, to transform, and dry them, and conserve them, it's going to help us to still have number of vegetables during the winter season or the out of season where those produce are not there. So let's continue to share expertise, solutions that we are doing. So at the next meeting, I propose that we practically come with the solutions, as it was alluded already today, that we expected that we're going to have practical, so we don't have to worry. Next time we will share practical, everyone. Basically, we are trying to share African solutions to African problems. If you have a solution for packaging, please bring it next Saturday. Show what type of packaging do you have in your country, and we can see, like Reverend Victorine says, there are packaging in Nigeria. Mrs. Kaya, please don't miss next Saturday. Mrs. Victorine, Mrs. Adenike, they will bring some packaging, show packaging from Nigeria, and see if they are suitable. Already, there is a partnership opportunity between Chad and Nigeria there, and other countries. Zambia, let's share what you are using as technology to preserve, transform, dry, your product. If there are local machines, maybe show the picture of that. We can compare, because we will then see from South Africa, what do we have? that we can also share in terms of the solutions that we do have. Really, we do have a number of solutions on the continent, and we need to continue engaging on those solutions. Yes, I see your hand, Mr. Agia. Do you want to, you can go ahead and share what you have to share. Mr. Agia, you are muted. You are still muted. All right, so while we just wait for a minute or so for Mr. Agia to unmute, anyone have a final word or a final comment? Final word, final comment. Yes, yes, Simi, you can share. You can put on a chat. Right, Mr. Aga, are you unmuted now? You can have your final comment.
No? Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
Mr.
Thank you very much.
Now both
Uh,
Mr. Simi and Mr. Agia are unmuted. Let's start with Mr. Agia, then we're gonna go to Simi. Mr. Agia?
Thank you very much, madam. I'm so happy about today's session because post-harvest losses has been one of the critical concerns to me. And this is where farmers make losses and they don't gain. And it's pushing people off agriculture and agribusiness to the large extent. So what I am proposing to the floor, and most especially Madam President, is why don't we do some form of segregation? Know each one where he wants to belong to. Food processing, vegetables, fruit or whatever, agro-forestry, tree crops and those stuff, so that we know what everybody is doing in a formal way, so that we tackle the issues, the discussions and training issue-based or well, models or whatever, crop-based, so that we can make headway. And when another point is the issue of collaborations and networks. It seems most of our discussions or most of our talks are just we talk, but we don't take action. Because there are few people who have reached out to me, I started communicating with them on this platform, and whilst we are putting in effort, then they just withhold. Even answering your chat on WhatsApp becomes a challenge. A typical example was about I'm not complaining, but I'm just making it so that we can all put our destiny together. Mr. Peter, I recall in my first meeting I joined this meeting, there was one Mr. Peter from South Africa who talked about machines and blah, blah, blah. It's almost a month now. I sent him a mail and he hasn't responded. Yes. So let's put attach actions in most of our discussions. Let's take things serious and know that look, if we really want to go far, you go with people. But if you want to go alone, go fast, go alone, and you go and hit the rock. So I'm so much keen about the collaborations, the network. Like we've been discussing this cocoa issues, those on the platform who are into cocoa, culture, and those stuff, we pull ourselves together, we become a regional body so that we become strong. Because a market that Aja alone cannot penetrate, if we are 3, 4, or 5, we can penetrate. So let's grow the blocks. That would also add up to our business. And Madam, later on, I'll discuss with you the issue of investment, how we can create a financial pool to be a special support vehicle for LWA and its allies. Thank you very much, and so much anytime, anywhere, this practical program together, I'm ready to speak. And I'm also advocating and drawing my colleagues' attention on how we can go sustainable, building the organic Africa, and also as we think about the business, let's also think about our health and resources, natural and holistic treatment as well. Thank you very much, and happy weekend to each and everyone.
Thank you so much, Mr. Agia, for your always innovative ideas to this group. Collaboration is the key, and I think you already initiated that. We will continue to grow, but also the idea of really just as we are, that's why the introduction is always important, to know what is everybody doing so that we know when you know, there is a need, we know who to call, who to contact. So sustainability, yes. You know, as African entrepreneurs, we need to think always of a sustainable model that will remove that dependency on always external help and external solutions. I know there are so many solutions on the continent, and our aim is always to see how do we promote those solutions? How do we exchange? How do we share those solutions? So thank you so much for everyone that has attended today. The recording will be again made available that you could share or you could use it to actually remind yourself on what we discussed today. So next Saturday, let's bring practical solutions on how we transform and dry, preserve our products. You know, if you have samples, come talk about it. I promise you, we are creating a movement. We are creating a movement, intra-African trade movement, where we've been already doing that. We bring products from really across the continent, but also we try to promote what is in South Africa to the rest of the continent. Then again, I think talking about your point, Mr. Agia, if you're looking for any product from South Africa, start with LWA. We should be your first point of contact. We'll be able to source anything that you need from South Africa as we build partnerships with number of stakeholders, manufacturers, suppliers, and distributors of various products. And the reason why we are organizing this meeting is also to understand what is outside South Africa so that we can also promote that. So really intra-African trade is the key focus of why we do these B2B meetings. Thank you so much. I see the last hand. Mr. Agia, is it a new hand or the old hand? Right.
Sorry, it's the old hand.
It's an old hand. Thank you so much. Right. So thank you so much. Oh, it was your turn. Yes, Mr. Simi, go ahead. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Go ahead. Go ahead. How could I forget Eritrea? How is that possible? Go ahead, Tim.
Good morning, everyone. Hope all of you guys are doing well. My name is Futsum Hagos. I'm from Eritrea. I previously worked in the Ministry of Agriculture and the Department of Agronomy in particular, focusing on this post-harvest management for cereal crops and oil crops, as well for vegetables, this tomato and okra. Currently, I'm in Rwanda, where I'm involving in broiler farming, chicken farming, slaughtering, and this marketing of meat chicken. I want to make this opportunity to extend my heartfelt greetings to the organizers of this Zoom event and to all these participants. Thank you for showing your interest in addressing this critical issue of this post-harvest challenge. Your commitment to finding a solution is truly commendable. So, as I have seen here, for Miss Victorine from Nigeria, I think she was just showcased for this how we can keep crops in making them to dry. There is also another way of techniques, because when we make them dry, our crops, it's going to be less in its weight. So ideally, when we also go for having these things, after this, we may not get this what we need sufficient money comparing to the cost of production that we were having before. So in this case, I have some things that I want to show you guys, as we from Eritrea have only one season for growing season, is also on July, August, and last of September. This is the rain season. Throughout the year, there is no rain. So how do these people, they survive without having of this enough rain, only for those three months of rainy season? But as I can see here in Rwanda, it's just that they have 3 rain season. I mean, more than 3 even. So in this case, what we practice there, let me share it just in gist. I don't want to share your precious time here, but let me give you some from clue. So when we come to these cereal crops, we normally make them dry, as Miss Victorine from Nigeria was saying. We normally make them dry. We don't simply harvest them soon. We just let the crops to dry for sun when there is, and then after they collect them, and then they keep them not in a plastic bags, or not in a something like that, but they have some structure they built with the clay pots, and then they keep them inside that. And the other means of keeping their vegetables, they keep them in a cold and dry place. So in this case, when I say that, which is say for example, this vegetables, when I say that these vegetables for root crops, like carrot and potato, we just harvest them the way they are, and then we remove only the dust parts. We don't wash them. We just clean them only with our hands, and then we keep them in some area where it is, we found it our place in our room or something, which it is directed to the north, where we can get direct ventilation. So in this case, we call them curing. This, we call it curing. Is there anyone familiar with this curing? Which allow the crops to dark. Well, I mean, to have like this to develop some like this protective membrane, like surface crusted, which is not allowed to wilt or something. So in this case, the carrot and potatoes in particular, they develop like this pumpkin cover. In this case, it helps the crops not to be wilted, or not to be easily spoiled. Another way of means also, they use this smoking, like for meat. They make them to dry and smoke, and then they mix them with some chili. I mean, sorry, this even chili, salt, pepper. That chili is pepper. Yeah, the other one is also vinegar. They mix them this, and then they expose them in the sunlight, and then they make them to dry. So this way of preserving their crops, it can last for long, like I can say, like until the next season. The other way of means for tomato, they blend them They blend them and then they cook them in a big dish just to vapor their water content at least less. And then after, they put them in bottles which are very clean and airtight, and then they can keep them for long. Some they pour it oil on the top to avoid only air sucking. Air circulation in case pass through. They put some oil on the top of this tomato sauce. Some even, I forgot, they add even salt or sugar with that tomato. At final, they make them to cool, and then they keep them in these airtight containers, and then it can last like the next season. So thank you very much. This is the thing that I want to share you. Thank you for having you guys.
Thank you, Mr. Simi. Right now you are in Rwanda. Really very, very interesting solutions that you do have. And again, next time, everyone, please, prepare samples to share how it goes so that we can see. I'm sure when we see it's much more, when there's a visual, it's much more, oh, Simi wanted to share something. Oh, sorry. Did not see that. All right, so next time let's come with
It's fine, I can
solution.
share. Thank you very much.
Right. So are you sharing now, or now we only left with 10 minutes?
Yeah. Let me share
Then
you.
we
This one
can
is a
move
quick
on.
one.
Okay.
These
All
are the
right.
powders. Yeah, these are the powders. Number one, we make them like the way I told you, guys. This like it is for this fresh green beans. They don't make them to dry just day after they harvest. With the rains, they lost and then immediately they make them to dry. And the second one is this chickpea. Are you guys familiar with this chickpea? This chickpea, they mix them with also some peppers, salt, and all the spices that we use for our foods. And then we make them to powder. And then it helps the crops, the powder, it lasts for long. Number three is meat, dried meat. This is my wife that she sent me soon from my country. The fourth one is chili. This we call them berbera or peppers, and this also it's very tasty. I wish I would you guys to test this crop. In particular, you can find this in Ethiopian restaurant there in Nigeria as well in South Africa. You can have this all products from there, and then you can fill them, and then you can direct even ask them how they do these things.
Thank you so much, Mr. Simi. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
And yeah, we will continue to share expertise. Reverend Victorine, I see your hand. You can unmute yourself. You are muted.
Okay, when he was talking, thank you, sir, for that wonderful insight. A lot of traditional means of drying. I really enjoyed hearing that because it reminded me of how grains were being dried in Cameroon, where I grew up, and really interesting. They dry and preserve till the next planting season. I just wanted to add, when he was talking, I remember that I didn't mention tomatoes. We shouldn't always dry to be powder. There's a way we can also prepare our own tomato paste instead of buying the processed one in shops. And it's very easy, which can be, it's a takeaway anyway for today. We can all try it. Tomato is in season. I don't know the countries where we all are presently, but if you can just buy enough tomatoes, maybe a basket full, you just blend it, put it in a muslin cloth to drain the water, a tight sieve. That's why I call muslin cloth like a chiffon. Drain the water so there will be no water left. You do the cooking, And he said something about pouring oil on top of the tomato to preserve it. That was when I remembered. Then with that, you just get your paste, pour oil on top of it, and you can preserve it for a very long time. You just cook it and use it for whatever you want to use it for. Then you can add some spices if you want to preserve. So there's just a lot of way we can preserve this so that we don't let our food produce from the farm get spoiled. And that is what affects most countries. And we are having this food security we are having now. If we can learn, and most of us in Africa, like our president said, we are all passionate about collaboration. We can get more people to come on board, we collaborate and see how we can do all this, and we will sure get to where we'll be having enough foodstuff all through the season, all through the year. So that's another way. If you don't want to go through the stress of blending tomatoes into powder, because the challenges also, especially of tomatoes, when you want to sun dry, you don't have dehydrators, flies, and so on. So you have to really master how to protect it from flies and bacteria. So going through preparing the paste is easier. You can blend and drain the water, do the cooking, preserve it with oil. And they sell also in shops. They sell in shops. Thank you, Ma. Thank you for all you are doing.
Great, great. 5 minutes to go. And I will give one more person or two people just one final word. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sarah, for joining from Umkatsi Pits Eco Village. Welcome, welcome. Right, so we are almost at the end of this session, and we just have ourselves, we are giving ourselves a homework. Next Saturday, let's bring some samples like Mr. Simi showed. You know, show pictures, show process. Maybe what I would recommend, Mrs. Victorine, is it possible for you to take a short video on how you do the tomato paste? Short video, like 2 minutes. Oh, you know, so you can do it for us this week. Then we can play it next week. Everyone maybe come up with a short video, 1 minute or 2 minutes on the process. Yes, ma'am.
I might not be available for next week because of the time difference. I might not be available.
If you send your video ahead, we will be able to share it.
Okay, I will see how I can send a video.
Okay.
Because because of the time difference.
Great. No problem, no problem. All right. So any final comment from anyone? You might chip in and just say something.
Hello, good morning. Good morning, madam. Actually, I joined late because I'm flying today to Burundi for Comesa exhibition.
Wow, wow. Oh, have safe travels.
Yeah, just say greetings from Malawi, the home heart of Africa. But I think I will see the recording because I also want to learn how to preserve these tomatoes in Malawi. Thank you so much.
Great, good to hear from you, and safe travels, Mrs. Annie. Yes, Mrs. Elizabeth. Mrs. Elizabeth. Great. Miss Sarah.
Thank you so much, Program Director. I'm sorry I cannot show my face, but I hope to join next week. I'm based in South Africa. I'm a pioneer and ambassador for eco villages in Africa. So agro-processing, food preservation is one of the techniques that we are promoting and restoring, reminding our people that these are the most efficient ways to save food and ensure that there's food security in our communities. In South Africa, we have a lot of indigenous edible crops, that are ignored. And, then the other nationalities, when they learn about them, they take over and commercialize them, and then the majority are then also left to continue to depend on food from the supermarkets, which are more commercialized and capitalistic. So we really appreciate this opportunity. Thank you. This is very encouraging and inspiring to meet again after traveling Africa in the past. So now I feel energized to just hear the voices of women from different African countries, though I don't know which countries you're joining from, because I came late. So I'm hearing Malawi. My vibration for Africa, it's just, starting again to, yeah. Thank you so much.
All right, Sarah, thank you so much. Please get in touch with LWA. Simon, is Simon still here? Are you able to put either your number or my number there for anyone to make contact with us? Yes, we would definitely like to discuss with Mpakatsi Peace Village, Eco Village, so that we can see how we collaborate since we all in South Africa. And for everyone, we would like to say big thank you for your contribution to this session. Very rich session, very informative, and we look forward to continuing this discussion. We need to find African solution to African problems. We also need to promote the intra-African trade, very important. And the ultimate aim is to actually fight against food insecurity. We know we can do it, and let's do it together. Let hold hands as we continue to seek the prosperity of our motherland, Africa. Thank you so much, and goodbye for now, and let's see each other next Saturday at the same time. Thank you, and bye for now.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you.